of identity, and the stories we tell ourselves about our identity, and the stories that are also identified by the surroundings, by our environment. So Laurie is going to do a little fun exercise with Simon and with me. So we're going to see our layers of identity and we're going to peel our onion. So Laurie, get going with us. Peel
I'm,
us.
I'm ready. Hello, hello, hello. We've missed you. We're going to talk today about the myriad of layers of identities that make up each one of us individually so that we can better understand ourselves as well as understanding others in order to help make this a better place for everyone into the future. I'm going to share a quote with you to start. Learning to navigate the many layers of your own identity while also expanding your awareness of the multiple layers of others is an essential 21st century skill, one that can take a lifetime to acquire. Begin on the path to mastery by discovering the many stories that can be only yours. That's from Jacqueline Novogratz, an amazing woman who's written a book called um, the the Path of Moral Leadership. And James and I have been taking her 11-week course, and this is one of the sections that was so eye-opening. We work as change agents, basically, in corporations. And in doing this, you must understand yourself in order to help others. And in order to understand others, you've got to go very, very deep. And Juliane and I both also um, we teach thinking into results, which also gets into paradigms. You hear us talking about paradigms all the time. This will help. This helps uncover some of what creates those paradigms, which are layers of identities over your lifetime that have created who you are. We are each uniquely you, and this is what creates it. So we're going to do this really fun, really quick. This is normally a 3-minute exercise, and then you do a second go at it. But because we only have 30 minutes, we're going to do it for 1 minute. And Juliane and Simon are going to do the exercise together with you as you're doing it at home. And the, the way it works is you need a piece of paper and an ink pen. And I have the timer ready for 1 minute on my phone. Juliane, Simon, do you have your pencil and paper ready? Ink, pen, and paper ready? So
Yeah.
when I say go, as fast as you can write, as fast as it's coming to you, I want you to start writing what makes up. What do you see yourself as? What labels do you see that make up yourself? What identity do you put a label on that is who is part of you? And as it comes, just keep reading it. I'll give you a couple of examples. Lorrie is a myriad of layers of identities navigating the difference in an interdependent world. And what makes up my layers of identities are I'm a global citizen. I'm a global businesswoman. I'm a global leader, mentor, teacher, author, speaker. I'm a wife, a mother, a daughter, a grandmother, a great grandmother. I'm a Global Innovation Award winner, a Wall of Honor recipient. I was a cheerleader years ago, and people still tell me that that's carried on today. Um, I'm a paradigm shift change agent, conflict resolution mediator. My brother years ago put on me I'm grace under pressure, and a ninja negotiator. That's my brother's layer of identity that he put on me. And I'll take that one. I'm okay with that. Fair, balanced, determined, I'm happy, healthy, self-sustainable contributor. That gives you a little bit of an idea of where to go with your thinking as you start into this. What are the different layers of identities that make up who you uniquely are, is where we're going today. Again, this is normally a 3-minute exercise. We're going to do it in 1 minute because we only have 30 today to do all of this in. So, Juliane, Simon, are you ready?
Ready.
Are you ready at home with your pencil and paper? Because we're getting ready to go. Get ready. Get ready to write. Start writing now. Okay, 1 minute is up. So I want you to quickly look through what you wrote. Okay?
Mhm.
I want you to now take a couple more seconds, turn your paper over, and as things are coming to you right now, start writing again. For a few seconds, just start writing again. Anything else that's coming to you right now that you left off your list. Okay? So let's stop here. What was the first thing you wrote, Juliane?
Empathetic.
Wow, I love it. Simon, what was the first thing you wrote?
Mine was global citizen.
Love it. Absolutely love both. So when you started to write again, the next thing you wrote would have been something that you left off, but it popped up after we stopped and you went back. It popped up to like the first thing again to start writing. Why do you think you wrote that? Why do you think you left it off? Other than there's too many good things in each of you to have written all of it quick enough in 1 minute.
Well, I think it relates to one of the first things on my list actually, because I put at the end of that list I'm quite a deep thinker, so I think things through more deeply and a bit more slowly. I don't rush into things. So then on my next list I put writer and reader, and I guess because I was just thinking deeply about my character, and that came to me later. It was partly because of the time limit, really, I would say.
1 minute is really, really, really short because 3 minutes is like zoom when you're really in your own zone and focused. I want you to do this again once we finish this. I want you to take 3 minutes and do this again.
It's really interesting because
Finish writing that list.
you don't normally really, you never really think about these things in your day-to-day life, and it's really useful, I think.
Juliane, what about you? The one that you started with that you left off. What do you think?
Well, similar to Simon, it was because of the time limit. I thought deeper, and I am a very deep thinker, as you know. sometimes sometimes even overthinking. So that's what I wrote. I mean, I enjoy deep thinking, and I enjoy giving it analysis. But it can also tend to be overthinking, you know,
Yes,
and
yes,
that takes sometimes maybe away from spontaneity.
yes, yes, absolutely.
Difficult word.
So
Yeah,
I have two questions that I'm going to put to each of you.
yeah.
We'll do this again, another round. Can you describe a moment in your life? If you want to write this down, I'll say it slow. Describe a moment in your life when one of your identities was threatened, it was cemented, or it was foisted upon you. It was foisted upon you. Describe a moment in your life when one of your identities was threatened, cemented, or foisted upon you. Who wants to go first?
Yeah, I can go first. Yeah, definitely the moment when one of my identities was threatened was when Brexit was announced and then it was voted through by the people, a small majority. And yeah, at the end of this year, it looks like, unless a miracle happens, it is going to go through, even though now a majority of the country don't want it. And my identity was threatened by that was global citizen or even just European, because now I'm going to have my European, as everybody in the UK, we're all going to have our European citizenship taken away from us, whether we want it taken away or not. Um,
And
but
what does that mean? The movement for you, what does that mean?
basically, it means that we're going to be the same as anyone outside of the EU, so that UK citizens, unless they've got a dual citizenship, they can only then stay, I think it's for 90 days, 3 months in a European country out of every 6 months, I think it is,
Yes.
which is just one thing that's happened from that is that people that have second homes in France and Spain and Italy, they've realised now that they're not going to be able to stay in these homes for more than 3 months. So even if they did, and some of these people actually voted for Brexit.
Not realizing.
No.
So this is what happened. As as one of our identities, I mean, you've only had. Could we shut microphones off for just 1 second because they're echoing? Um, as as one of our identities, which, as you can see in just 1 minute, you've written a lot in just 1 minute. 3 minutes, it's huge, the list of who you are, what makes up who Juliane is, and what makes up who Simon is. And when one of our identities are threatened, one of those pieces of it are threatened, that goes immediately straight to the top. And that is what we laser focus in on. Even though all these other pieces are what make us who we are. When it's threatened, that pops straight to the top. And that becomes your immediate priority. And I mean, that's when we can become, wow, really bleh, kind of things going on with us where maybe we wouldn't be. I mean, Simon, you are just the calmest, most chill person I know, other than James, maybe. And I know that this really, really bothers you because it's coming closer and closer to the 31st of December, which is the deadline when all of this is going to happen for us. So that comes higher and higher to the top of your threatened part of who you see yourself are as a global citizen and the movement that you want to have, the ease of movement that you've enjoyed all this time. So, Juliane, do you have one?
Um, well, it's also the threatened part, and it's not really. I don't really feel so threatened by it, but it's a concern not getting sucked into the noise vortex, that the chatter and the mostly negative chatter that is going on outside, or even in friend circle, in family circle, or on social media. That is a little bit of a concern, but I don't really see it as threatening for me, because I find my own solutions for it. But it is obviously the year has been very long, and this whole situation is already going on for a long time. So I cannot deny that it's just yeah, sunshine all the time. No, no.
Yeah.
I mean, I would be
So
lying.
there's something in this that's attacking part of what you've written of you being global citizen as well, and
Yeah.
how it's
Yes. I
impacting
mean,
you. I
for
mean,
example, for example,
you've lived in America, you've lived in Spain, you've lived, and Simon, you as well. You've both lived in many different places around the world and see yourselves as global
what
citizens in a different way.
and what I also wanted to say is also it's sometimes not only ourselves, but we see family, or like people that are very close to us and that we do really care much about. Um, uh, it's also seeing them threatened and
Yes.
suffering, or
Yeah.
and this is what causes, I think, the most frustration in us all.
Yeah.
Like, for instance, my mom wanted to come here, and she had flights booked as well for coming to Tenerife in March, which was not possible. And then there was a whole long period of time of not knowing exactly when she would be able to travel. Then she came in September, but it took a while. So I think this is also this insecurity that is underlying and subconsciously affecting a lot.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. And understanding these different layers of myriad of layers, not just layers, myriad of layers of identities in each one of us. What makes up each one of us is the way that we behave and the way that if something is being threatened within one of our identities, that's what we're either responding or reacting to. And some of us, it's something is being triggered in there in one of our paradigms. I mean, this crosses over. Juliane, you and I were talking about this before we came on live, that it crosses over and puts paradigms into a much clearer understanding of what they are. When you think of them as myriads of layers of identity that have been created over a lifetime, is what makes up who you are. It's what makes up who Juliane is. It's what makes up who Simon is. And the connections it can also make. Juliane, you and I were connected from day one. You were from Germany. I was from America. You were in Spain, and we had an absolute immediate connection. It didn't matter what country we were from or where we were sitting. You had a mother that was going through an issue with a father with dementia. I had lived through, not long before meeting you, I had lived through my mother with a father with dementia. And all the things that I went through with that and was able to help share with you, to help share about your mother. We had that connection about having mothers with fathers with dementia. Had nothing to do with male, female, nothing to do with what country we were from or where, are we living in the same city? It had nothing to do with any of that. But that is what makes up one of our individual layer of identity. That's what makes up each of us. And we also had the connection of when you were very young, you traveled to America. So there was this, and you lived in America for a while. And so we had an absolute connection there, even though you were German and I was American, there was an absolute connection. There was no, we were global citizens when we talked. There was no, I'm from this country, I'm from that country, and Simon, the same with us. You've traveled the world, you've lived in many places. There's no, I'm from this country, I'm from that country, this is better, that's better. There's none of that. But that makes connections on completely different levels of identity.
And now that the identity of global citizen has become more threatened, either through Brexit or the pandemic and not being able to travel at the moment, I think it's made all of us and probably millions of people around the world appreciate it even more. The fact that I think back and remember and also think how lucky we were to be able to travel, and probably will appreciate that even more going forward. And hopefully it will bring people together rather than dividing people. And even if people can't travel at the moment, you can still be a global citizen in a way, because you can interact through videos like this, have conversations with people around the world, whether it's on like video like this or social media or phone calls or emails, or the technology's there that means we don't have to be completely separate. We can connect with people.
Yeah, I mean, the three of us are not even in the same town.
No.
You're in the UK. Juliane, you're on another island. We're both in Spain. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter where you're sitting. You can connect around the world.
We just had a comment from Kate.
Hi, Kate.
It is that
Hi, Kate.
we can all be, like you say, from different places, etc., and have a connection from dealing with the same experiences. Absolutely. Yes, Kate. And I feel you. Love you.
Definitely.
Thank you. Yes, absolutely, Kate. That's what this is all about. Thank you. Bang on. So I have one more question I'm going to ask both of you. And if you'll...
Claire said hi too.
We've got a fourth member of the 30-minute mastermind. Aww.
Okay, her dad just came and got her. The things that go on when you're on Zoom, you know? We had a little announcement that her dad just came home.
Oh.
So for each of you, really quickly, I'm sorry I didn't look at the time when we started, but we must be close to our 30 minutes. In your list of myriad of layers of identities, whichever one of you want to jump in, has which one of your identities have caused you to feel really good? Which one of your identities that you listed have caused you to feel really good when you look at it and find it? I can share with you, let me start. I've been presented, never applying, never asking, never going for awards or things like that. In my lifetime, I've been presented a couple of awards. Global Innovation Award from one of our corporate clients. We were the only, they never presented consultants with an award before. It was only ever given to employees. And that one, it just warms my heart every time I think of it. It's not something that I go blah, 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 blah about all the time. But when I think about it, it just warms me to know that we were held in that regard with our clients, that they pushed for a consultant to be awarded that year their Global Innovation Award, which was James and me for the work we did. And the Wall of Honor from my high school. I received a letter out of the blue um, that I am now the 2020 recipient, and with COVID, we weren't able to have the official presentation, but they sent me a picture that my picture and the award is now on the wall, in the Wall of Honor of previous graduates, and I'm honored to be part of that, and that just, yeah, I get overwhelmed a little bit sometimes on some of those things. Juliana, go for it.
Well, something, it's not really pride, it's more like feeling good
That you feel
about
good.
feeling good about it. Although I was scared to do it in the beginning, and it gave me like a moment of like, oh, am I gonna do it or am I not gonna do it? Is when I put my very first YouTube video out, and it's chaotic, but I did it, and I felt good about it.
Yeah.
And yes, and it talks about I think it was a topic about procrastination, um, but it really was necessary, the first one, and then it gets easier. While you got the first one out, you start creating more and more and more, and I think this is still also what at the moment keeps going, and me contributing as well, and sharing with people and helping people. uh, I love putting content out, and I'm also gonna put a video. I think I shared it yesterday on our channel, on our 30-minute mastermind Facebook. So go take a look and listen to calm your mind down, because that's something I like to share with the whole world, um, to help.
Yes, and you become YouTube guru.
Oh no.
I remember the first days of you us talking about getting some of these videos out for you. And you're amazing. You're amazing. Simon, how about you?
Yeah, I was just going to say, I think what both of you are doing is so important, and thank you for what you're doing. I think you're really spreading good, positive messages to the world, which is what we all need right now.
Thank you, Simon, and you.
Well, I'm happy to be a part of this, definitely. I'm really happy to be part of this. And yeah, one of the things I wrote down was constant learner. So, like, kind of in a state of lifelong learning. And I feel good about that because it really stops me from getting or just stagnating. And when I'm feeling bored or something, then I'll start learning something new and do some research, read some books, take some courses. And I've actually just started, I just signed up for a course the other day. It's kind of related to what you were talking about, Juliane, because it's is to do with learning photography and video making skills, because I'm really into those photography and got my YouTube channel, but I felt like I needed to up my game, and I thought there's always room for growth. So I thought I'd take this course, and I've started it. Yeah, today I've been starting it, and there's also a really strong community around it. And I think that's one of the most beneficial things is the community. It's got a really growing group on Facebook where we all kind of chat and help each other out with different things we're working on. So that's really cool. Yeah.
Well done.
Thank you.
And everything you do, your photography, your video, everything you do is amazing as well. Amazing, amazing. Keep going, keep going, keep going. You're doing fantastic things. So we must be at the end of our 30 minutes or beyond today. So you got a bit of a bonus today, since we haven't been able to get on, the three of us together, get on and move forward. We've each had so many different things going on. Apologies, we haven't been able to get out there. So you
Be back there.
today, extra bonuses today. So I'll leave you with a quote from Rumi from more than 800 years ago. Out beyond ideas of wrongdoing and right doing, there is a field, and I will meet you there. This is Lorrie MacGilvray.
Lorrie, just one last thing. I think you
Yes.
said you asked us to remind you to say something. I can't exactly remember what it was, but
Moral leadership. This is 100% about moral leadership. Personal, individual, business, it doesn't matter. Every level, every layer, everything. What we're bringing to you is all about moral leadership individually and your piece in this, and making this world a much better place going forward for everyone. Thank you, Kate. We love you. Thanks for joining us. Mwah. This is 30-Minute Mastermind. We'll be back next Friday. This is Lorrie MacGilvray.
Simon Turkas and Juliane Nendel.
Love you.
Bye, everybody.
Ahead. Bye.
Have a good weekend.